Welcome to another Burgundy with Tweedy video. It feels like it's been a while, and certainly a while since I've done one under a tarp. You wouldn't believe we are well into July. Today, Vosne Romane. This is a producer I have had from before. I don't think I've featured this on the channel. It is Boursot, Père et Fille, and it's a 2017 vintage. Pretty happy to still be finding those. That's why I'm going to these slightly more obscure places like Seckford. Quite a lot goes on behind the scenes to actually get hold of this variety of Burgundy. Won't be able to see it from there. A bit of mould on top of that cork. But we've seen that before. And normally, fingers crossed, the wine inside is unaffected. The rest of the cork looks absolutely fine. I would say that's towards the darkish end of the spectrum. On the nose, well, I think there's some kind of dark berry fruit there. Amazingly, and this is a rare find, I think there's a hint of truffle. Wow. And that's kind of melding with something cherry-like, but kind of a perfumey version of cherry. Beautiful truffle aroma, that cherry, very, very perfumey nose. On the palate, really nicely concentrated, lovely balance there, decent hit of acidity. Definitely noticing some tannins. They're fairly fine grained. Wouldn't say they're really getting in the way, but they are kind of something I feel I'd need to negotiate my way around. They're a mild obstruction, but one that I will face with politeness. That's really rich, quite condensed, quite concentrated, very present tannins. It's not ruining it. I would slightly prefer they were a bit milder, but perhaps that is all part of this. I will take that if that is the price I have to pay for that beautiful truffly nose. I mean, I really feel like I've unearthed treasure here, much like a truffle hunter and his dog. Such a rare thing. I have tasted so many Burgundies in the last few years. I must be running into triple figures now. And if I've ever noticed truffle before, it's been incredibly subtle. Here there's an abundance of it. That is amazing. I don't know if this is something that just develops with a particular point of aging of this wine. Other references to it having a very floral nose. And I wonder if there is some point where with age, fruit character tends to fall away and you get these kind of tertiary characters instead. You get these kind of earthy, mushroomy notes. And perhaps at some particular point in that aging process, the floral character starts to merge more into that perfumey, truffly character. I don't know, could be just talking nonsense here. I have had a couple of conversations in the comments recently where people have been saying, oh, you drank that too young. And generally speaking, I do like these younger styles of Burgundy. And one of my main points is I don't really want beautiful, luscious fruit and floral notes to be replaced by rotting leaves and mushrooms, really. Why would you want that? But I think in this case, and this isn't particularly old, it's only 2017, so it's less than 7 years since these grapes came off the vine, but perhaps at some point you do start to get this just first hint of those tertiary aromas from aging, with the fruit still very much intact and some of those possibly floral notes manifesting slightly differently. And I think if that is what's happened here, then that is a beautiful result. And perhaps this wouldn't have been quite as special 2 or 3 years ago. I'm incredibly pleased with that. Those tannins now starting to morph a little bit more into a kind of slight spice, slight sort of white peppery finish, which is okay. I think I would still rather keep the tannins on the low down as much as possible, but I think in a food context particularly, this would be really, really interesting. Those truffle notes, a little bit of presence of tannin, I think usually helps with a food wine. Give it a bit more structure, a bit more grip, as some people say in tasting notes. And those spicy notes might also be an interesting accompaniment to some food. But sitting here in the under a tarp in the woods on a damp July day, it is also delightful just like this. This was, I think, a bargain by the very twisted standards of Vosne Romane. I expect Vosne Romane wines to start at £70, £80 for a vintage that isn't going to be ready yet. If you buy sort of 2021s or 2022s even today, then I would expect the base prices for those to be typically around £70. So to have something that I think is in beautiful condition from a vintage that I really like, and I think it came in at just over £50, it was 52, 53. I should add a caveat to that Seckford charge quite a high delivery fee, I think, for just 6 bottles. Many wine merchants that I deal with, if you go over a certain limit, maybe £200 worth of wine, they'll then just waive the delivery fee altogether. Seckford charge £15 with VAT on top, so that's £18 for delivery, even for 6 bottles. Still think that's a bargain for a really beautiful Vosne Romane. that I'm enjoying very much. Cheers.